Chief Andrew had seen many shocking things in his life. He shook hands with presidents and kings before. His 2 security guards flanked him, scanning the area. A weak, thin young woman sat on a faded mat. She wore a tattered ash t-shirt and dirty jeans. Gently, she spooned food to the young woman's mouth. Chief Andrew's heart stopped as he recognized her. His only child, the 24-year-old missing for a week. Posters of Juliana's face covered the entire city. Andrew didn't answer. His feet moved forward quickly. He rushed to the mat, dropping 2 knees. Her eyes moved slowly, focusing on him finally. Her lips parted, whispering "da-dee" softly. Juliana tried to hug him back weakly. Her body felt too light and very weak. He hugged her tighter, tears falling freely. The old woman stared in surprise, frozen still. She asked if he was her father slowly. Andrew confirmed she was his only child. The old woman sighed and lowered the plate. Silence fell over the small, dusty compound. A boy ran past the rusty gate. The sun beat down on broken walls. Mama Olivia introduced herself as a widow. She lived alone in this old compound. Andrew asked how Juliana got there urgently. Mama Olivia explained, finding her on road, coming back from market on dusty path. She saw Juliana lying almost lifeless there. People walked past without stopping to help. They thought she was mad or cursed. Mama Olivia couldn't leave her there alone. Though old and weak, she helped her, begged the boys to carry her home, washed her face and shared her food, fed her small portions every single day. Andrew asked how many days she stayed. Today made it exactly 1 full week. Andrew felt dizzy from the shocking revelation. All those nights searching in his mansion. His daughter lay on a dusty road. Then, in a poor widow's leaking bungalow, guards shifted uncomfortably, one wiping eyes. Andrew thanked her for saving Juliana's life. Mama Olivia smiled sadly at the praise. Villagers told her about his search today. She sent them to bring him here. Andrew asked for every detail from start. Mama Olivia's eyes darkened with painful memory. She didn't just find Juliana on road. She saw what happened before she fell. She described hearing a big powerful car, like those used by politicians in elections. 2 men dragged someone from back seat. One tall, one short, with broad shoulders. They dropped her hard on the ground, hid behind tree to avoid being seen. One asked if she would wake up. The other said she better not remember. They kicked dust on her like trash. Said dumping in village was enough cover. Andrew's blood froze from the horrifying details. They took her bag, files, and device. Juliana whispered about her encrypted project prototype. Andrew realized it was a targeted attack. Not random, but planned for valuable tech. Mama Olivia didn't see their faces clearly. They wore caps and looked around nervously. After they left, she came out quickly, touched Juliana, found her barely breathing, shouted for help. Only 2 boys came. Others ran away out of fear. No phone, no money for closed clinic. Brought her home, cleaned, fed, prayed nightly. Andrew called her a lifesaver with gratitude, but she said any mother would do it. She lost her own child years ago. Seeing Juliana woke something buried inside her. A loud knock blasted at the gate. Everyone jumped. Guards drew weapons quickly. Mama Olivia froze. Juliana clung to shirt. Deep voice demanded to open the gate. Guards snapped into defensive positions alertly. Mama Olivia whispered it was the voice, the same from the dusty road incident. Banging continued louder, harder, more threatening. Andrew gripped Juliana protectively, heart racing fast. Guards warned this sounded very dangerous. Andrew wanted to know their intentions clearly. Juliana begged not to let them in. For everyone who had not helped enough. For everyone who walked past those posters, like they meant nothing in their busy lives. Mama Olivia looked down at worn slippers, then looked up again, eyes shining tears. I found her, she said simply. Andrew frowned deeply. You found her? Mama Olivia nodded. I was coming back, from the village market on Dusty Road, the one that leads to the main junction. I saw her there, fingers gripped wrapper. People were walking past her without stop. Some looked, some shook their heads sadly, but nobody stopped to help or check. They said, maybe she was mad or drunk. Maybe she was cursed by some spirit. Andrew's jaw tightened in growing anger. He could picture it vividly in mind. His brilliant daughter, boardroom star, once now lying in dust like discarded trash. Juliana made a small sound, clung shirt. I couldn't leave her there alone. Mama Olivia said, I am old, not strong. But I knelt down and touched her gently. She was breathing but very weak indeed. Her clothes were dirty. Face was bruised. I tried to ask what happened to her, but she could not speak well at all. Her voice broke. So I did only thing. I begged 2 young boys on road help. We carried her here to my humble house. She looked around at peeling walls, ashamed. I washed her face. I shared my food. I have been feeding her small since. Andrew stared at her in disbelief. Deep. This poor widow who had almost nothing, had carried his daughter home safely, had fed her, stayed by her side always. But he felt something else too heavy, a heavy fear like cold hands squeezing heart. If this woman had not stopped that day, if she had walked past like the others, Juliana might have died there, alone, cold. He swallowed hard, throat tight with emotion. How many days? He asked quietly soft. How long has she been with you here? Mama Olivia looked at him, then Juliana, then back at him again with sad eyes. Today makes it 1 week, she said. 1 week, exactly, the missing days match. Andrew felt dizzy, world seemed to tilt. All those nights in his Laros mansion, blaming himself, begging God in prayer, throwing money at search teams desperately. Then inside, poor widow's leaking bungalow, eating from her small plate of jokolof, his guards shifted uncomfortably in dust. One of them wiped his eyes secretly, when he thought nobody was looking close. Andrew looked at Mama Olivia again, really looking this time with new eyes. He saw the lines on her tired face, the tired eyes, the shaking small hands, the way her clothes looked old, washed, too many times, faded from years' use. A woman like this had every right walk past and mind her own simple business, but she did not. She chose to help. Something inside him cracked even more. How did you know to bring me here? He whispered, voice softer with gratitude. Mama Olivia gave a small sad smile. When you came to the village this morning, people ran to tell me Big Man City was going around asking about missing woman. They said you were crying, showing picture. She nodded toward Juliana on the mat. I saw the picture. My heart almost stopped. She took a deep breath, remembering pain. So I told them to bring you here quick. Andrew's throat felt tight with emotion. He looked at Juliana's pale, weak face, then at the old woman who carried her, fed her, stayed with her when whirled back, turned its back on the helpless girl. His voice shook as he spoke again, soft. Madame Olivia, he whispered, full name, without even thinking in the moment. Please tell me everything from the start. From the first moment you saw my daughter, tell me what really happened on that road. Mama Olivia looked at him, eyes darkened, as if remembering something painful deep. Her fingers tightened around the plate. The warm village air suddenly felt heavy. She opened her mouth to speak slowly, and what she was about to reveal was something Chief Andrew never expected here. The compound suddenly felt smaller, tighter, like the air itself was afraid of words. Chief Andrew wiped his face again gently, holding Juliana carefully in his arms. Her breathing was slow, shaky, fragile still. The guards stood alert, hands near holsters, their eyes, sharp like eagles, watching all. Mama Olivia held the plate of rice lap. Her fingers trembled, remembering too heavy for her small hands to carry alone. I didn't want to say anything before now, she whispered, voice low with hesitation. But since you are her father, you should know what I saw and what I heard then. Andrew's heart thudded hard in his chest. The guards straightened up immediately, alert. The sun seemed to pause in the sky. Please, he said quietly, tell me everything. Mama Olivia nodded slowly, tears filling eyes. I didn't just find your daughter lying on the road, she said, voice shaking. I saw what happened before she landed there. Andrew's breath caught in his chest tight. You saw it? He asked, voice sharp shock. She nodded. I was coming from village market, walking slowly because of my old legs. The sun was hot that day, birds hiding. She sniffed. Then I heard a car coming. Andrew leaned in closer. What kind of car? He asked, trying to keep voice steady. Mama Olivia shook her head slowly. No, I don't know the name, but it was big, powerful, one of those cars in election time when politicians visit the village. The guards exchanged quick glances, worried. Andrew's jaw clenched tight with tension. What happened next? He asked urgently. Mama Olivia swallowed hard, throat dry. The car stopped suddenly in dusty road. Then 2 men came out from the vehicle. One was tall, very tall and menacing. The other was shorter, but broad shoulders. She breathed in shakily, recalling fear. They went to the back seat and dragged someone out. Juliana whimpered softly, weak. Andrew held her tighter. Protective instinct. Dragged, he repeated, voice trembling anger. Yes, Mama Olivia whispered, eyes distant, dragged like they were dragging a sack, not a human being with any respect. Her voice broke, emotion overwhelming her. They dropped her hard on the ground rough. My heart jumped. I hid behind mango tree, beside the road, didn't want them see. Andrew's breathing became shallow and fast. His guard's fists tightened in rage. Quiet. What else did you hear? Andrew asked low. The widow's face darkened with memory. One of them asked, are you sure she won't wake up? The other answered, she better not. If she remembers anything, we are finished. Andrew's blood froze cold in his veins. What? He whispered, shock in his voice. Mama Olivia nodded sadly, tears falling. They kicked dust on her, dust as if she was not somebody's child precious. She wiped her face roughly with hand. Then they said, let's go before no one will know who she is here. Andrew felt like the ground had fallen from under him, world spinning around, dumping her in a village like trash. His daughter, brightest software engineer, in his billion-dollar tech company thrown away like she was worthless and nothing. Juliana whispered something weakly soft. Andrew bent closer to hear her words. They took my bag. They took everything. The files, the device. She breathed hard. Andrew felt his stomach twist in knots. He knew exactly what she was talking about. Her encrypted drive, project docs, her device prototype. Only she and two trusted engineers had access to it. Someone had targeted her specifically. This was not random, not a mistake. This was planned, very planned indeed. Andrew swallowed hard, mind racing fast. Mama Olivia, did you see their faces? He asked, hope in his questioning voice. She shook her head no, regretfully. They covered their heads with caps tight. They kept looking around, suspiciously. I didn't want them to see me at all. If they did, maybe I too would be lying on that road, dead or hurt. The guards stepped closer protectively now. And after they left, Andrew asked next. That was when I came out, she said. When I touched her, she was cold almost. I thought she was dead, no breath left. Her voice cracked again, but then small breath came out. Very small but there. So I shouted for help loudly then. She looked down. Only two young boys came. Just two. Everyone else ran away. They were afraid of trouble or curse. Andrew felt a deep ache move through him. A father's ache mixed with anger, fear, and a pain he didn't know how to describe. Mama Olivia, he said softly, gentle. Why didn't you call for help then? Why didn't you take her to hospital? The old widow looked embarrassed low. I don't have a phone, she whispered. The small clinic downstreet was closed, and even if open, I didn't have money. They would ask for to treat her there. She looked up at him, eyes full sadness. So, I carried her home, and did only